Hi guys, so this time we are going to do another one of the movements that we talked about last time or previous times. That is a part of Taijiquan, the whole form. So this particular exercise is very interesting because it involves a very complex motion, turning of your heel. Remember at the beginning I told you that in Taijiquan, when we do movements, your heel is always touching the ground and the heel is turning and not with the toes. So when you turn your leg, it is always the heel. So this is where you're actually going to understand why that heel movement is very necessary for stability. So first, let us understand what this movement is called. This movement is called downy ho. So it is something where you have a twisting motion. So it's like intercepting a punch, doing a twisting motion. So when you do a twisting motion, it kind of has 2-3 variations in it. You can twist and then hit. You can do something called a Sai. Sai is a very powerful downward forcing sudden movement, which if it is executed properly, the opponent will feel his whole spine is cracking. So it's such a movement that if it is done in a very subtle and a very powerful way, then it can make the person lose control or even go blank for a while. So it's a movement where it's called Saijing. So one of the 13 jing that we talked earlier, this is the Saijing. Saijing is where you do a sudden movement and the person kind of loses balance or becomes unstable for a while. That is the window for you to attack with a powerful force. So this movement involves three different movement actually. One is evading the punch, second is doing a thigh or a twisting motion, and third is hitting right after. So this gives a very powerful impact on the opponent. So remember the details of this because this is going to be a little bit tricky than rest of the movement. So let us begin. So you start with a forward motion. So you have Shubu here. So from Shubu, you lift your leg up and then you turn with your heel like this. So the leg movement begins like this. You lift your left leg and you turn with your heel and your toes are facing in front, and your left leg, when you step it down, it is your body is in a cross position but the leg is actually 45. This is a very unique movement because here you are kind of facing in front, at the same time your torso is facing on 45 degrees. So since you are facing in front, we are trying to have a balance between a 90-degree and 45-degree angle. So here your left leg is making a 45-degree angle. So let me repeat it again. So if you lift your leg like this, then you turn with your heel and then you place this behind and then you move backwards. So here you are sitting on the left leg. Okay, so this is a very important movement. If you do it with the left side, because this movement involves 3 sets, one is gone on the right, one on the left, and again on the right. So here you are going on the right foot and then you are doing a turn and then you put back and you are moving backwards. So this is for the leg. After this, you do a hand movement. So the hand movement I'll show you individually. So your hand is kind of becoming one in front and one in behind. So you are kind of marking an area front to back. So this is kind of a receiving, the punching that we talked about. So you receive the punch. So you are intercepting the punch here, and as soon as you intercept the punch, you tend to twist it. You twist it and then you pull. And as you step down, your right hand is actually going to the face, and this hand is pulled towards your abdomen. So this is how the final position will look like. Then you repeat the same thing where your right hand is on top in front and left hand is on the back, and then you intercept, turn, and then you come back. And this hand is not just holding it here, you're actually pushing it. So your hand is pulled and your left hand is pushed. Now I show you a twisting motion. Now same thing can be done with the Tsaijing. So when you do a Tsaijing, it is basically you do this movement, and when you pull, you're not doing a twisting motion, but as soon as the hand is near your left hand, the opponent's hand is near your left hand, you're doing a sudden pull. So the pull is directly downwards and then you push. But when you're practicing the form, you're not doing this. This is a practice one. So you are actually imagining that you are doing this, but your movement is still going smooth and slow. So you're not doing any sudden movement. Although even the punch that we talked last time, in reality, the punch will go very fast. But when you're practicing, it will go very slow because every single small motion that you do has to be accumulated, perfected slowly. So remember, if you are slow, you are smooth. If you are smooth, then you are fast. So don't chase being fast at the beginning because then you will not be smooth. Your motion will be disrupted. So learn to be very slow, very smooth, and then naturally over a period of time when you are so perfect with that, the whole body is together with that, your movement will be so fast that it will be lightning speed. Okay, so it is very essential to know how to make any movement fast. First you make it slow, then you practice it regularly with continuous same imagery in your mind. You have to imagine the opponent coming, his hand is incoming, then you do a movement and then you twist and do. So when you do this movement slowly every time, then slowly it becomes smooth, it becomes one with your whole body, and that will lead to an increase in speed. If you keep on practicing it fast, then there will be a lot of loopholes. Your body will get stiff depending on the opponent's power, speed. Your body will become stagnant. So it is very important that you pay attention to the details, small movements that you do, and you repeatedly watch the video to know those movements, and slowly you will become perfect at it. And then when you're practicing the form, it will become a slow, smooth movement. So let me again show you this movement from front. So you start from here, then you do a lift, turn, and then you step down. So more important thing that you have to remember is that lifting, twisting motion. So this lifting and twisting has to be done very properly before you land, because if you twist and lose balance, it's of no use. So when you do this, you have to repeatedly practice. So you can start from one place, back, then you do this, back, and then you do this, back, and do this. So keep practicing at home regularly all the single movements that I'm teaching, and also it is very important that you master them before you actually start with the form. That is why I try to make videos with longer duration in the middle, because they are complex, so you get time to practice them during the breaks rather than waiting for the next video, next movement. You try to practice as much as possible. So do like, do subscribe to the channel, and do share it to your friends who might want to practice certain types of martial art or want to do better health exercises at home in a very confined space, who don't want to go out and learn it outside. So keep watching, and thank you.